Hey neighbor, I think I might have made a little boo-boo about a week ago. If you have not watched this video right here, go watch it because we got quite a bunch of feedback from it. Stirred up the hornet's nest. We're going to be talking about that today. I'm going to try to explain it a little different. We're going to go over some of these comments, over 2,000 comments, and we're going to go over some of them because they rake their horse down pretty good, okay? Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. Well, thank you for joining us. Man, pretty flowers. It's flower time of the year.
Zinnias are in.
Gosh, I know. And look at you all dressed up.
I know. I went to a Mother's Day tea with Ty this morning.
Had to do the grandparent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to fill in.
Yeah, I bet he was proud to see you.
He was proud. It was sweet.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go over today some comments on this video I did a week, nearly 2 weeks ago, on the tariff thing. And in the meantime, we got a little mulberry pie right here.
Mulberries are in.
Mulberries in it. And I'm going to tell you, I love blackberries. I love blueberries. I eat blueberries every day. But I love blackberries. Mulberries is not my favorite thing to eat raw. However, it makes the best pie I believe I have ever eaten. And Mama Hoss here has been on mulberry pie baking.
Might use a spoon. It's not really a...
You bought a dwarf mulberry tree, and it has been producing like crazy.
Yeah, it produced some last year. I just planted it in the ground last year.
And how many pies have you made this year so far?
4.
4, yeah. And these don't have any sugar in them, which is a good thing. And I'm off sugar, so I can eat these because they don't have any sugar, right?
Right, as far as you know.
All right.
Oh, is this mine?
Yeah, it's yours.
We'll have purple teeth.
We'll have purple teeth here. All right. And it's got a tart flavor to it that really lends itself best to pies. We just got one plate. You go ahead and eat.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and taste. I can't eat out of the thing.
Oh man. Tell everybody how you make this.
Well, got my mouth full. So it's just the bulk pie crust. You could make your own. And you dump about a cup of mulberries. And you can do this with any fruit. I've done it with blueberries. And then you put a half a box of vanilla cake mix.
Sugarless.
As far as you know. In there. And then you do a stick of butter in little pats. And cook it on 350. That's it. No milk, no eggs, no water. Nothing but your fruit, the cake mix, and butter.
Amish butter. We like to use Amish butter. You make yourself sick out there. It'll never make it through the night here. So we had one you carried to the break room.
Is it gone?
It's gone. Yeah. All right. Time to get down to serious business. So the video I did was on tariffs, and I was trying to explain to everybody what the impacts the tariffs were going to have on the gardening industry was my intent. We got blowed up a lot worse than that, and I got called some pretty ugly things because it can be evidently political. I try not to be political in it because that's not our job here at Hoss to be political. Our job is gardening. And
but you went there.
But I went there and I said, I'm not trying to be political, I'm not. I was just trying to lay down the facts of what's happening, and then you could draw your own conclusion. Most of you out there are intelligent people. We got a few here that we doubt for that, but most of you are intelligent people out there can draw to your own conclusion if you're based with the facts. And that's what my point was. But I realized after even a couple of our neighbors didn't even get the whole thing, so I knew I had to explain it further. So what happened was we placed an order with a distributor we use in the Netherlands. And we placed this order weeks ago because with these distributors you have to place these big orders several weeks for them to fulfill them. Before the tariffs came into place, Cameron, our purchasing agent, placed this order of $4,200 for microgreen seed. And it was just, looking back at the order, it was just microgreen. It was a weird microgreen seed that some of our microgreen growers like, okay? It starts with a P, it's this long word. Anyway, so I came in, Monday was a week ago, and they called me to the side and said this order had come through and it got hit with a $7,000 additional tariff at the border. Customs, now here we go, back up again, the order was $4,200. The tariffs were $7,000, so that is around $11,000 for the total order. The tariffs were more than the order, because the country of origin of the seed was China. When we placed this order, I didn't know that. It wouldn't have really mattered to me. We needed this type of seed, and that's the only place it's grown. We do, however, get some other seeds from over there, and when a seed comes into the United States, it has to have country of origin on that seed packaging, and that's the way the tariffs is done through the country of origin. So even though we ordered from the Netherlands, we didn't pay the Netherlands rate of tariff. We had to pay the country of origin, which was China, tariff on the seeds, and that's the reason we got hit so hard. I was just trying to inform everybody, if these tariffs stay into effect, then it's going to cause some issues with the way we live day to day. Not a lot, but some issues there. Some of these varieties were not going to be available, or they're going to be a lot higher price than what they are now. And it's just the fact of the matter. I was not trying to tell you y'all going to starve to death or all this, but we got a lot of hate off this.
We got a lot of hate, but I'd say probably 75% of the responses was hate, or they were angry. Maybe 25% was good. They understood, and
there was a lot of percentage in there that just didn't understand nothing.
right. And I would say the 75% of hate are people that don't normally watch our videos.
And a lot of people just don't understand how much is made overseas. I mean, your cell phone is
TVs,
computers. Look, I'm not making those rules. That's just the way it is. But I was trying to draw, in the seed industry, is what has happened. Over the last 20 years, seed production is a worldwide thing now. Contrary to what some of you guys think, all these seeds that your vegetables are grown from are not grown in the United States of America. And we're going to get into some of these comments. And as we do, we're going to try to explain some of this. So the first one was, and we're going to put this up on the screen here, and I'm just going to read a couple of them because we'll go through all of them. There's over 2,000 comments. A lot of these people thought that I was trying to maybe take sides on the political arena, and I'm not. So a lot of them said, you voted for so-and-so, and this is what you got. And I'm going to read a couple of them. User KR4 said, Trump did this. Be a man and admit you were wrong, and then Trump is garbage.
A big man.
Big man, yeah.
Be a big man.
Be a big man. David Marr says, why make a video? You voted for this, and yet you don't want to address the failed politics of your vote. Now, never in the video did I say who I voted for. I'm pretty sure none of you guys care who I voted for, and I personally don't care for why most of you voted. We don't get into politics. Sasha Cap says it is political, completely. Maybe you should start paying attention, or you're sidestepping the fact that you voted for Trump and you don't want to admit it. And then Big Gal, she says getting what he voted for. But there's a lot more there, and if you want to read these comments, some of them are actually pretty hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I voted for Trump, evidently, according to all them. Mm-hmm. They don't have no idea who I voted for. It's none of their business who I voted for. And a lot of times when we try to look at the facts, some other people draw conclusions that you're on one political side of the party. Well, just trying to lay the facts out there, and you can dissect it or digest it however you want. All right. So the second one here is who pays for the tariffs. Now, a lot of people are informed and confused about the tariff thing.
I was too.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that the country was paying them, not the consumer.
No, the importer. Okay, so us, as the person that's bringing these products into the country, are the one that pays it. And the way it works is,
So it's not a penalty on the country.
No, it has nothing to do with the country. It can second-handedly because it can cause people not to order enough product come from there, but it has the country didn't have to pay it. So the way it works is if we order seeds, I'm just going to say from Brazil, okay, use that for an example, and Brazil has got a 30% tariff on all their seeds. When that seed gets to the port of the United States, they do a custom, what's the word for it? I just had it on my mind. Anyhow, they take an evaluation of what that product is and a customs code on there. The important agent, which we was using FedEx on this particular shipment, collects those fees from us and pays them to the government. And that being the United States government. So the United States collected that $7,000 from us. Now we was using FedEx on this particular shipment. Sometimes we use other important agents. And this came directly out of our checking account because we got an agreement with FedEx that they can take those fees directly out of our checking account. So it just came directly out. And then we seen what had happened. It was like, uh-oh, but nothing you can do about it. So that's the way it works. So there's a bunch of people talking about tariffs here. I'm just going to read one. Joanna Parrish says, yeah, duh. You didn't know there was a tariff going into effect against every country? Why didn't you get your seeds from American Seed Company or grow your own seeds? Well, I did know there was some tariffs out there, but I didn't realize we were going to hit in this window. And I say a window, I'm using that loosely because the tariffs, as we are filming the show, are still on with China. And if you really want to get deep into it, you can go, there's some documents you can pull up. Different countries have different amount of tariffs. I think Israel is like 17%. Some of the countries like Honduras or whatever may not have any tariffs.
And this has been there before.
No, some of it's been there before, but some of it's been enacted in the last little bit, last 2 or 3 weeks, and some of it has raised up. China now, if I'm not mistaken, has 145% tariff, where China, when we got these seeds in, was 125. So it actually costs more now than then. But they are different amount. They are exemptions on some things. So it's kind of complicated the way all the tariffs things work. People that are in the business of importing a lot know more about it. We don't import a lot. Nuts and bolts, all your nuts and bolts, folks, if you didn't know, it's made in China. We don't actually import them in here, but the supplier we do imports them in here. But nuts and bolts, besides a few strange seeds, is all we get from China. Now, we get a lot of seeds from other places through the United States, but not necessarily China. But there are certain things, nuts and bolts. At least I'm not aware of a U.S. manufacturing company that makes regular old nuts and bolts anymore. So, anyhow, pay attention to politics. So I said in the video that I don't pay a lot of attention to politics. And the reason is, folks, I don't get consumed by that. I found a long time ago that if I sit in front of a TV all the time and watch the news, I get really depressed. So I've made a conscious decision not to do that. Do you watch the news?
No.
None?
No, whatever comes up on my phone, like when I go to check the weather, you'll see some news blurbs, and I'll, look at that if it's interesting, but no.
Yeah.
I think when I got burned out on watching TV and was when Michael hit. You remember?
The hurricane?
The hurricane hit. And it was just so depressing and just...
Yeah.
It just puts you in a bad mood.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that like to watch news 24/7, hey, that's fine. It's just not what I.
Now, if something important happens, I'll go look it up and read it. Yeah.
But I said in the video that I didn't pay a lot of attention to politics, and I don't. So I got some hate on that. Jerry Farrell said, "Bull. I don't pay attention to politics, but let me make this political video." Typical. And then Scott McClaney says, we learned something today, folks. Don't wait till you're white-haired. This is a good one. We learned something today, folks. Don't wait till you're white-haired and your company gets blindsided because you don't pay attention to the world around you. Money ain't everything, folks. Good luck fitting through the eye of a needle. Yeah, he ripped me pretty good. So we had several there on that one.
Yeah, one was, guess you're learning politics through tariffs.
Yeah, and then one says, no tariffs are paid by the other country. Oh, yeah, this is a good one from Gazonzo Boots. He said, no tariffs are paid by the other country. Why don't pay tariffs, so you just got played.
We don't pay.
Yeah, we don't pay. I got my glasses on. We don't pay tariffs. You just got played. Well, Gordon, Gorzano, whatever your name is, I got news for you. I do understand it better than you do if you think that other countries pay the tariff. All right. And then here's a good one. This one probably got a lot.
We kind of broke it up in
Yeah,
like
'cause
categories.
there's so many of them.
And this was the biggest category of
I'm going to have to eat some mulberry pie to calm myself down.
why are you buying seeds from overseas? Evelyn Rogers says, but why do we need seeds from China? Another one says, well, there you go. You don't, but from the Dutch. You buy from the communists. You want me to keep reading so you can address them? Sheila Dowdy says, I'm sad to learn that you've just been buying bulk from China. I thought you were a farm here. So basically your seeds are no different than any other seeds. And then doesn't the U.S. have seed companies?
Yeah, so this one right here, a lot of people are misinformed on this one. Seeds are grown all over the world. This is a worldwide thing. It's just the way it is. Now, there are some seeds grown in the United States, especially out in the northern Midwest. We have some large seeds that are grown. Most of your small seeds and your hybrid seeds are grown in other parts of the world. And we work with,
Why?
two things: isolation, and also the labor force to actually hand pollinate these varieties. It's very labor intensive process to grow these hybrids out there. And to most of y'all that don't know this, most of those open pollinated seeds are grown elsewhere in the United States, overseas, because it just costs a lot less to do it. So the majority of the seeds are not grown in the United States, they're grown elsewhere. Although there are some that's grown here. We grow Jimmy Red. Jimmy Red corn is grown right here. Most of your bigger seeds are grown here.
We talk about like growing the Jimmy Red. What all did you have to go through just for this one variety?
Just for this one variety, we had to have 1.5 to 2 miles isolation by the way the crow flies. Now, some of you people out there may not understand how the crow flies. That's a straight line of where our field is in any direction. We got to have 1.5 to 2 miles of isolation between there to grow that. So we had to be real peculiar about doing that. So if you was growing 50 different varieties of corn, theoretically you'd have to have spaced 50 to 100 miles apart to have enough land to have the isolation to prevent the cross-pollination, which is basically unfeasible. So they are, and I grow a butter bean. I grow a couple more crops.
We grew the roselle seed.
So we grow a handful there.
We're growing the collards.
Yep. There is not a seed company out there that does not bring seeds in from all over the world that I'm aware of. Here's where the problem comes in that most people don't understand. The bigger seed companies like us, we actually have relationships with these worldwide seed companies and we buy directly from them. The smaller seed companies out there buy from companies like us, and they don't know where their seeds come from because we don't have to put country of origin after the seeds come into the United States. So you may hear some small seed company out there say that
they only buy from U.S.
Well, that's true. They only buy from U.S., but they have no idea where their seeds come from. They come from all over the world. So don't be of the persuasion that you're buying from a company that don't bring seeds in from all over all over the world, because it just happens. They might not know it, but it's just a fact. All right. Well, I got ripped on that one right there, but that's not the worst one. The next one is save your own seeds. Why do we need to buy seeds when you can just save your own seeds? And old Billy L says, just grow the darn seeds yourself. And Paula said, why aren't you saving seeds from your vegetables? And Whiskey Johnny Review says, save seeds and buy from American seed companies. Won't buy from Hoss again, thank you. See, they calling you now. And then Brenda Bad says, looking for the silver lining, save seeds. She brings up a good point. Dollar Tree has seeds for $1.25. Good seeds. Some plants replant themselves. Some can overwinter. Some can be cut, rooted for fall crops. And She's 70 years old, and praise God. Praise God, Brenda, but you're wrong. Dollar Tree seeds, if there's any of them out there that comes from overseas, is that one. That's the cheapest seeds they are out there. I know the companies that actually put them in the Dollar Tree store, and those are imported in for the most part. Yeah, not only that, that's the lowest grade seed comes in. That's written there $1.25 a pack.
And we encourage you,
Heck yeah, I save my own seeds.
if you can save your seeds, do it. If you've got a variety that can be saved.
It's like our roselle that we got this year. There's limited supply on those. Now we grow seed crop, but I highly encourage everybody to grow and save their own seeds, because if we have a seed failure, you'll have some to carry on. So if you can save your own seeds, fine. The problem is seeds such as roselle, seeds such as beans, peas, and corn are easy to save. Those wet varieties as peppers, eggplants, tomatoes are hard to do, and it's hard to save those, and most people don't.
It's an art.
It's understandably why. And then we got our hybrid varieties that you can't save because you don't get true variety. All right, next one is buy from American companies. We got ripped on this one before we get it too. All right, Battle Axe says there are some really good American seed companies you can try. I only buy American for seeds. Well, Battle Axe, you are, my dear friend, mistaken. All American seed companies get seed from everywhere, unless they just sell a handful of seeds. Now, if you got some little seed company there selling 5 or 6 varieties.
Somebody on Etsy, somebody with a small website,
I'll give you that.
they may be saving their own seeds and reselling them.
We have over 1,000 SKUs here of different type seeds. It's impossible for us to grow our own seeds, save our own seeds, and we have to source them from all over the world. We do have relations with those people that we buy them from, which is a good thing. All right, and then Bert says buy seed grown in the USA. There again, Bert just don't understand. And this was the one that really I like this. Warlord says, that's why I buy seeds from Ferry Morse. Almost all of their seeds are produced in the USA. Wrong. All right. There's that one. That one almost took my breath away. Ferry Morse is growing their seeds in the USA.
And where do they get their seeds from?
Everywhere. Not only do they get them everywhere, they got the lowest quality seeds of anybody. Yep, I'm calling them out. Ferry Morse is the worst. Yeah, I will say that.
2:45 p.m.
So this last category that we put all the comments in is called Greg is stupid,
Crooked,
Lefty,
employees cheap labor,
he's greedy,
lazy,
deceptive.
and ignorant.
You a lot of things.
I'm a lot of things. So there's a whole page of these. I'm just going to read 4 of them, okay? Home and Garden says, I know now where not to buy seeds. The way you proudly claim you are supporting a genocide is sickening. Wayne from Texas says, you took a seed from overseas and renamed it the Halcinator. No development or anything, just rebranded it like it's your seed.
Do you want to address that one?
Yeah, I will. So we actually was given the permission to bring that variety, it's a long story there, to bring that variety to the home and garden market. So we had some say-so in some of these varieties of the traits we wanted them to have to bring them in, but we did work with a national breeder for that variety to bring it in. And do we grow it ourselves? No, we don't. But we do bring it in and offer it to the home and garden market because we think it's such an amazing variety. I'm going to tell you something you didn't know.
Okay.
The Halcinator was originally developed for an exclusive with public supermarkets.
Oh, really?
And they turned it down, and that's where we picked it up after that.
Ah.
So it's a great tomato, and we just brought it to you guys. Same thing with our other Halcinators types. We look at these things.
And they can't buy Halcinator anywhere else.
Not in the home and garden market. That's correct. So, all right. And then the last one is Halse is a lefty for sure.
What do you interpret that as?
A left. That means they think I'm a Republican for sure.
This is the one that
I guess because I'm white-haired, I'll be 60 years old in this week,
woo,
and that puts me in a particular category. People are.
this is the
stereotyping.
one that I found hilarious, as
Okay.
well as some of our staff,
Okay.
because this went right toward them.
This is right here.
The Netherlands have cheap labor. I call bull. You're just a reseller, not a producer. And now you want to blame Trump. I have seen a sampling of your workforce. Your labor is cheap as it gets. And your seeds are the most expensive on the market. Now we know why, no longer a viewer.
And that's from Kicking the Chicken 3613. Kicking the Chicken.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of things, but we don't have cheap employees. And I probably took more offense to this. I don't care. They jab me. That's okay.
Yeah.
But our employees are not cheap by no means, and some of them took a little.
They took that a little personal.
a little
didn't they?
personal there, but we don't
Yeah.
have cheap employees.
Some may have put some responses on
May
that
have
one.
responded to that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so there we have it, folks. Hope this was actually funny to us, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. We love.
I mean,
looking
we
at
don't
this.
take it personally.
Yeah, but they are some ignorant folks in the United States, and I guess from all over the world. You could be from anywhere and comment. Over 2,000 comments, and we're just trying to be truthful about.
I mean,
things.
if you look at some of the names that they give theirself,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you wonder.
Now, do you post negative comments on people's videos? I normally don't.
No, I
normally-
never do.
But I did here a while back.
And you regretted it. You one of these.
No, I'm not one of them, but I caught myself, and this happens, most of the time you'll see these comments are about older people, but I was watching this video, and this girl was giving some bad information on growing onions. And I thought, all of a sudden, it just hit me that I had to give her the truth and straighten her out. So I went on there and I commented in a nice way of telling her what she said was not true and this was truth. As soon as I did it, I regretted it. I didn't go back and delete it, but the fact of the matter is it was her video. And it wasn't mine. It was not my place to go on there
And correct her.
and correct her. So I don't do that anymore. I had one weak moment. I did it. So I'm back and I don't do it anymore. If I can comment something positive, I will do that from time to time.
Yeah.
But I don't. I try not to do any negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
You know, Mom always said if you can't say
That's
something good, don't say nothing at all.
don't say nothing at all. Garden Spotlight of the Week is from Ashley Garrett. Now, Ashley lives in Kentucky. And I want you to look at there what Ashley has grown. Ashley is growing Kentucky pole beans. You know, if you live in Kentucky, you got to grow
Yeah.
Kentucky pole beans. And man,
Look how long that one is.
yep, look at that. Long as his arm. And I'm going to put this one back. Oh, I fell off the bench here. Here I am, old white-headed. He said they had a 40-foot row, and they are picking them like crazy, man.
Holy moly.
Yep. Beautiful right there. Kentucky pole beans.
He didn't say when this was from. You think this is from
No,
last
this is
year?
Last year, yep. Thank you, Ashley. Reminds us, and I got pole beans planted. I love growing pole
They're
beans.
blooming.
They are blooming. All right, old goat. The old goat's on the set here somewhere. If you find the old goat, then put in the comments below where he's at, and we will draw next week for this week's winner. Last week's sighting of the old goat goes to Jennifer Binder. Jennifer, send us your shipping address to,
Support@growhouse.com.
and you will be the recipient, how do I say that?
Recipient.
Of these Get Dirty socks. Look here, Jennifer. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Strut around town with your shorts on and your socks on and your flip-flops.
I got something.
Yep.
So I had a viewer actually they sent it to both of us, but I'm claiming it. Daniel Tyler, and he comments a lot on our stuff. Salty
Dog Farm.
Dog Homestead on the Instagram. We share a lot of his pictures and comments. And he sent us a white roselle, which I have grown before, but I was not successful in saving any of my seeds
Why were you not successful?
because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't let them mature.
And
And what?
You didn't listen to me.
I didn't listen to you. That's right. Anyway, so thank you, Daniel. I am so excited. And I'm going to get these in the ground.
You going to direct seed them? Or plant them in the greenhouse?
I'll probably plant them in the greenhouse.
Need to get them planted.
I know.
Yep.
But I've got enough. I can plant some this year and next year.
If you got some time on your hands, folks, go watch that video. There's nothing else. Just go through the comments. It's hilarious. You see all the comments on there.
What we got going on?
We still got turmeric left. Plants are gone.
They're gone. Sold
Plants-
out.
Sold out of plants. Plant season's over with till fall. We, this fall, are going to launch a intensive plant program that's going to be off the chain I'm working on. We're going to have exciting plants, but we're going to have an exciting way that we get them to you quick. So no more of this USPS stuff. We're working with a company, so we'll be able to get you these plants quickly. So we're excited about that. Working through that. That's coming this fall. We got turmeric. We got asparagus coming in. Last shipment, the 15th of this month. So if you want asparagus, you got to get it in, or it's gone for the year. Still got sweet potato plugs out there.
Slips.
Excuse me. And my garden's looking prettiest garden I believe I've ever had at this point.
You say that every year.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And somebody's got a birthday coming up Saturday.
Yep, I'm turning the big 6-0.
6-0.
I know I don't look it. I know
No, that white hair just doesn't give it away.
Don't give it away. Yep. Wisdom, my friend, wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yep. Thank y'all for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful day. Get outside and get your hands dirty.